Hi, all of you. Welcome, all of you, to my video on utility analysis of demand. It is my first video in the series of lectures on microeconomics. In utility analysis of demand, the first thing we have is what is utility? The definition of utility states that it is the want satisfying power of a commodity. So anything that satisfies the human want has got utility. Utility is different from usefulness. A good may have utility but may not be useful, like cigarettes, alcohol. These have utility because they satisfy want of the people, but they do not have any usefulness. That is, in fact, they are harmful. So even if the goods which are harmful but they are satisfying the want has got utility. There are two approaches in the utility analysis. One is cardinal approach and another is ordinal approach. The cardinal approach assumes that utility can be measured, and the unit for measuring utility is utils. So economists say that we can measure utility. That is, if you consume a cup of tea or cup of coffee, you can say that you got 50 utils of utility or 50 units of utility or any other number. That is, you can assign numbers to utility. On the other hand, we have contrary approach, that is ordinal approach. It says that we can rank utility, that is, we can give ranks to the utility that we derived. That is, a cup of coffee gives you more utility than a cup of tea. You can rank, that is, the coffee is giving you the higher utility, tea is giving you slightly lower than that. So you are ranking the utility. Maybe with some other commodity you relatively rank, or with the previous unit, that is the first unit of coffee gave you higher utility, second unit of coffee gave you less. So you are relatively ranking the utility. In case of cardinal approach, we have two laws. One is law of diminishing marginal utility and another is law of equimarginal utility. In this video, I am going to talk on law of diminishing marginal utility. This law is based on an important characteristic of human being, that is, every want is fully satiable. So if you consume a commodity, the want for that is satisfied. You don't want anything more. Like, you need washing machine, you go and buy the washing machine, order it on Amazon, your demand for washing machine is satisfied. So in the same way, the consumption goods, maybe you are hungry, you eat something, your want is satisfied, of course, for the temporary period of time. So according to this law, every want of human being is fully satiable, that is satisfiable. And it is also a fact that as a consumer consumes more and more units of the same commodity, the utility derived from the additional units goes on diminishing. Like, if you are hungry and you are eating parathas, the first paratha you eat gives you a very high utility. The second will give you slightly less than the first. Now, but by the time you have eaten your second paratha, let us say your stomach is half full, still you are hungry, you go for the third paratha. And but the third paratha will give you slightly lesser utility. So the fourth unit will give you the negative utility. Your stomach will be upset. Now you will think that I will not eat parathas now onwards because my stomach is getting upset. So you may not like to eat parathas later. So this is nothing but the law of diminishing marginal utility. Your want for parathas is fully satisfied. But of course, by the next meal, again, you are hungry and you will need parathas. unless and until you eat something else instead of parathas. So the law has been defined by Alfred Marshall. He says that the additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase in the stock of thing diminishes with every increase in the stock he already has. This law explains the relationship between the quantity of a good and its utility. If a consumer goes on increasing the stock of a thing, the additional utility derived from additional units. Additional utility is nothing but the marginal utility, and additional units are marginal units in economics. Assumptions of the law. The utility is cardinally measurable, which I have already explained. We can assign numbers to the utility. All the units of a commodity must be same in all respects. Like if you are eating parathas, so the first unit you have is the one which is made at home, first paratha. But the second paratha you get from a good restaurant. The utility may not diminish. Maybe the restaurant paratha is much better, so you get much better utility and you start comparing. So the law applies only when all the units of the commodity are same in all respects. The unit of goods must be standard. So when you are eating parathas, you must eat one whole paratha rather than small bites from it. There should be no change in taste during the process of consumption. During the process of consumption, if instead of parathas you start writing, start preferring pulkas or doshas, so your taste has changed in between, and therefore the law may not apply. So law applies only when the taste remains same during the process of consumption. There must be continuity in consumption. That is, when you are eating you should keep on eating continuously. If you eat one paratha in the morning and another in the afternoon, the law will not apply. There should be no change in the prices of the substitute goods. At the same time, there should be no change in the price of the commodity which you are consuming. So we have the second last one, prices remain constant. Not just the prices of substitutes, but also the prices of complete complements and the price of the good which you are consuming. There should be no change. Marginal utility of money remains constant. So as you keep on consuming, the stock of money with you goes on declining. So what happens is the marginal utility of money will start increasing, but the law assumes that the marginal utility of money remains constant, and then the consumer is rational and tries to maximize satisfaction from his limited income. This assumption, in fact, we have in most of the economic laws. Now, coming to the tabular explanation of the law, we have units of commodity in the first column, marginal utility in the second column, and the total utility in the third column. As the consumer is not consuming any commodity, marginal utility and the total utility are zero. If he buys the first unit, consumes it, let us say that he is feeling highly satisfied, he is getting good utility, and the marginal utility is 20. Now, this number 20, you will get the question from where it has come. It is an imaginary number. Instead of 20, you can take 40 also, it is your choice. Now, the total utility is 20 plus 0, so it is 20. As he consumes second unit, the utility derived from the second unit is slightly lesser. Let us say 18. So the total utility is 20 plus 18, because for the previous unit it was 20. The total utility was 20. So 20 plus 18 is 38. If he consumes third unit, marginal utility is 14. Now 38 plus 14, you get 52. Fourth unit, slightly less, still less, 5 units only, and the total utility is 52 plus 5, that is 57. Fifth unit, The want is fully satisfied. Now he doesn't need anymore. So marginal utility is 0. And the total utility is 57 plus 0, which is equal to 57. 57. Sixth unit, negative utility. Yeah, sorry, it's minus 10. So 57 minus 10, which is equal to 47. So this is the tabular explanation of the law. Now coming to the graphical explanation, on the x-axis I have number of units, and on the y-axis is the total utility and the marginal utility. Now total utility and marginal utility both are starting from 0, but we omit the 0 part and we start with the first. So both are starting from 20, from the first unit onward. So my starting point is common there for both. Marginal utility is continuously diminishing. It becomes 0 and it becomes negative then, while the total utility is continuously rising. It is rising faster initially, then it rises slowly, then it is horizontal line for a certain period, and then it starts declining. When total utility is maximum, marginal utility is 0. Now coming to the importance of the law, uh, yeah, before going to the importance of the law, the question is, what is the equilibrium of the consumer? When does consumer reaches equilibrium? The consumer reaches equilibrium when the price is equal to marginal utility. So let us say when the price is 0, your friend is going to pay for your bill in the restaurant when you are eating parathas. How many parathas you will eat? When price is equal to the marginal utility, price is 0. So you will eat 5 parathas, right? And your tummy is full. You will not eat anything for another 24 hours. And total utility is 57 at that point. But if you have to pay the price, let us say the price is 20 rupees, then you will eat only one paratha when price is equal to marginal utility. Now coming back to the importance of the law is useful to the finance minister. So the finance minister makes use of the law in taxing the commodities. He knows that with the tax, the price rises and people will demand less. So he will tax those commodities which do not depend much on the price, which are essential commodities, or maybe those commodities which are consumed by the rich people. It is the basis of law of demand because the equilibrium is when price is equal to the marginal utility. So marginal utility goes on diminishing. It means that people buy more at lower prices and less at higher prices, and it is helpful to the consumers. It is useful in the price determination by the companies. It shows difference between value in use and value in exchange. Like diamond doesn't have any value in use but has got high value in exchange. Water doesn't have any value in exchange or very less value in exchange but high value in use. Why? Because it is available in plenty, we consume in plenty, and it supports variety in consumption and production. If we consume same commodity again and again, our utility will go down. And therefore, this law supports variety in consumption and production. So that is the reason we have different varieties of clothes, and we don't listen to same music again and again because this law because with this law we know that if we consume same commodity again and again, our utility goes on diminishing. So thank you for watching. Any comments, suggestions, please mention in the chat window, and please do subscribe to my channel.